If you think a frog will turn into a prince, forget about it, because it won't happen. So just be good to yourself, and when you see somebody is wrong for you, when you see he's the wrong guy, throw him back in the pond so that you can move on, because you deserve a prince.
Nunca besa a un sapo, Prinzen statt Frosch. I'm the author of Never Kiss a Frog, warning all women that frogs do not turn into princes. I've been in the dating slump forever. Most of them come from my own experience. I have a couple of degrees in biology and physiology. And after that, I realized I didn't like working in a lab situation, so I worked at the National Academy of Sciences in Washington, D.C., and I ran an information program on biomedical research. And then one day I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be a star. I quit my job, sold my car, sold my furniture, sold my boyfriend. When I first moved to New York, after I did acting, I did some stand-up comedy for a while. I went out to the West Coast, to Los Angeles, wrote a screenplay, started doing some writing for television shows, Murphy Brown, Friday the 13th, the series, Fame, Carol and Company, which starred Carol Burnett, sold some movie scripts, and then one day I got the idea for Never Kiss a Frog. A frog doesn't have to be a bad guy, but if he's not the right guy to walk you down the aisle, he's a frog and you should throw him back in the pond.
Do you think a frog who loves his mother is worse than a frog who hates his mother?
Well, it depends. Do you remind him of his mother? You've heard of the Mile High Club? Well, I went out with one guy. He not only liked to do it on airplanes, but on buses, on subways. He was a transit sexual.
This is the KUSI Morning News.
Why do we like the bad guy?
I think women are just conditioned to do that, but what I'm telling them now, especially since it's the beginning of the year, is to get rid of those frogs and to move on so they can find their prince.
Hi, Christina. I'm Marilyn Anderson. Hi.
We brought in a special extreme expert.
Yes.
A kissing authority and book author.
I think I definitely need some help in that area.
Whether you're 26 or 46 or 76, women are always nervous about it. A very common frog is the frog I call Count Frogula, because so many women go out with men who essentially make them miserable. They said, oh, I love him, but he's always making them cry. When he leaves their house, they cry, or when he's at their house, they cry, or sometimes if they cry, he leaves the house. And the reason I call him Count Frogula is because any guy who drains the life out of you sucks.
Biggest mistakes women make in dating is that they think they can change a guy.
In little ways you can, but also what's bad is a guy who meets you and wants to change you. I went out with this one guy, and the first 3 dates I thought it was fantastic. But the third date he said, you know, you look good as a blonde. I said, oh really? He said, you should cut your hair, and why don't you wear, you know, more subdued colors? And finally I said to him, I don't understand. If you don't like the way I look, why do you keep asking me out? He said to me, oh, I'm in real estate. I like fixer-uppers. I actually think the internet is a great way to meet people that you would otherwise never come in contact with. And of course, the good news is that if you meet a frog online, you just reboot, 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 and delete his hard drive.